Hello.
Hi, Bogush. Welcome back to my beginner-friendly Medieval Dynasty Let's Play. I will be endeavoring to explain more than necessary, but I'm intending this for people who are looking for tips or who are absolute beginners. It is winter. Winter has finally arrived. Winter is not coming. Winter is here. So an interesting thing about winter, which I will demonstrate first, is if we take off all our clothes, we have a sort of semi-naked Bogush. You can't take the underwear off. Why would you want to anyway? And if you go outside, first of all, your villagers will be horrified that you're walking around in winter in your underwear. And secondly, it's not actually happening because it's not that cold. So if we look down in the bottom right, we see the temperature, and the temperature at the moment is in the green. It's only 7 degrees. So it's in the green part of the temperature gauge. When it gets into the blue, I'll demonstrate that later. But what is happening is I have, under survival, I have 3 levels in insensitive. So that increases my temperature, my green part of the temperature gauge, by 6 degrees. So it means I can, if I didn't have that, I would already be freezing without any clothes on. But because I have that, I am not. So we don't want to run around with no clothes on. That demonstration didn't work at all. But hopefully you get the idea. You will start taking damage if you are outside and not wearing warmer clothing, unless, like me, you have some points in insensitive. So I'm gonna put on my trousers, which are not particularly weather helpful. But I'm also going to put on the winter coat, the winter trousers, and the rich hood, and the warm hat. Yeah, the basic trousers obviously are stupid. I didn't need those. So now, if you look down in the bottom right, you'll see that I have 64% cold protection. So the bar at the top with the blue, green, and red just tells you the temperature outside. It doesn't have anything to do with how resistant you are to it. And then down the bottom, on the left, you've got heat resistance. And right now I'm wearing very warm clothing, so it would not help me if it was sunny. But it helps me a lot for when it's rainy. Oh, I forgot some sort of footwear. Thin boots, you see all the way down the bottom, have +5 cold protection. Basic shoes have +8, which seems kind of weird to me, but we'll go with it. Right, so down the bottom right, I now have 72% cold protection, so I should be pretty good no matter how cold it gets. Sometimes it'll get really, really insanely cold, and then it really can become a problem. So if you're totally new, I definitely recommend that you make a point of going and getting some warmer clothing. It doesn't necessarily have to be 100%, but some warmer clothing before spring hits in your first year is a good idea if you can manage it. If you cannot manage it, you can just hit X. And X will pull your torch out, and because you're carrying an open flame, it's not exactly realistic, but the torch will protect you from cold. Even if you're totally naked, and even if it's really cold, you can just take out your torch and it'll take care of everything for you. So, winter is usually a good time for preparing things. And I've got a few things to prepare that I would like to prepare. So let's look at how we're doing with stuff. We have 1164 coin, which is not amazing, but it's not bad, I guess. Do we have anything to sell that we can make a little more coin? Let me run up to the resource storage and have a look. Our traps are still... let me see. No clothing to sell, no other good stuff to sell. So one thing I definitely know that I want to do is I want to go into our mine and get the copper and tin that is in there. Traps are fine. Because both of those, first of all, they are useful. You can make better tools. When you have copper and tin, you can make bronze. And when you have bronze, you can make better tools. But in order to do that, I have to have the smithy. Let's see, let's go buildings, production, smithy. Yes, I can build a level 1 smithy. And I think I'll do it down here near the mine. So if you remember from previous episodes, the mine is over here. We cleared out some bears early on. There's one of our dudes walking to work. So there's a mine here. And when you go in the mine and you hold left bumper, which is your inspector mode, you can see all these glowing green things. Now, I'm not sure if just inspector mode shows you that or if you need the skill survival sense. Survival sense, I've already got it, so I can't test without it. And I've never consciously tested that before, but that's the one that shows you like sticks and mushrooms and stuff on the ground. I'm not sure. Maybe one of you can test that and let me know. So you can walk through here and you'll see all of the things on the wall. Copper and tin, and somewhere around here is salt. Back up here, it's very white. You can see it. And they glow when you use the inspector mode. So you can come in here and mine those. If you have, which I think I currently don't, if you have a pickaxe, you need a pickaxe. I don't have a smithy yet, so I can't actually, excuse me, I can't actually create a bronze pickaxe yet, but I can create a pickaxe. I just noticed that there's a cart turned over down here, and it's got mead bottles, which are not that useful, but usually if there are mead bottles, there's some mead. There was one mead. We can sell that for a couple hundred, I think. So I'm gonna start, if we open this and go down to handcrafting, we can see that a stone pickaxe costs 1 log and 4 stones. So actually, maybe it's just quicker to go back up to the resource storage. So for the king's quest, which is there in the upper right, we need another 40 logs, which will just happen kind of automatically. We need 900 stone, and we're about to get a lot of stone from mining. Limestone is a bit of a pain because when you try and mine it yourself, it just takes a really long time to get any. So let's go in here. We have some stone pickaxes. I'll take 4 of those. We're going to need more than that, but Yeah, limestone's really slow. Straw, we'll get a lot of straw in spring when we harvest our fields, because all of this is rye, and rye produces straw when you harvest it. So I'm not worrying about the straw right now, but let's see if we go over to the management tab and we look at what our miners are doing in extraction, in the excavation shed. They are doing stone and limestone. So for now, I'm actually going to put them all the way down on stone because I'm about to produce a lot of stone. I'm going to put them all the way up on limestone. So they should now produce about 20 limestone a day, which is good. In fact, 20 limestone a day, they will finish limestone this winter, which is good for us. So I'm going to go back down to the mine. Actually, I'm going to prepare for this a little bit first. So if we pull our hammer out, well, actually we don't need to pull our hammer out to do this, but I want to build a resource storage, and you can have multiple resource storages, which is good to know. It's a huge building, unfortunately. I actually want to pull my axe out and clear some of these trees. So the magic thing with resource storage is when you have one anywhere, it's connected to any other one anywhere. And it can be anywhere in the entire map. So you can build a resource storage in the middle of your village, and then you can build one outside of a town. And they are magically connected. So when you put anything in one of them, you can access it from the other. So what I always do is when I have a mine like this, and as you saw, it's not right in the middle of my town, I put a resource storage near it, and then I can come out of the mine, drop things directly in the resource storage, and they're accessible everywhere. Sorry if you hear any funny noises in the background. My cat is being somewhat rambunctious. So I'm doing this to get logs so I don't have to run back to the resource storage, but I'm also doing this basically to clear space. And I made a shovel. This time I am actually going to take up the stumps. So I explained it before, if you remove stumps, whoops, sometimes it misses. If you remove stumps, the trees don't grow back. And I know that I want to build in this area, so I'm not gonna want a whole bunch of stumps all over the place. These are not the best trees for getting logs. These are birch, which are only 2 logs each. So I also don't really care or mind about getting them out of the way. So let's see. Buildings, storages, resource storage. And let's see if we can put it over here somewhere. This area is really tricky to build in because there's a road right here which blocks building. There are rocks, like stone in the ground, which blocks building. So I'm obviously having a very hard time with this very large building, finding a place where I could put it. Normally I like to have, in other places I've built that are much flatter, I have had the resource storage right outside the cave, right outside the mine. And that's extremely convenient when you can do it. But it looks like I'm gonna have to take all these trees out of the way as well. And I'm out of axes. Make another axe quickly. And cut down some trees. I'm probably gonna need to get another axe. At the beginning, all of this stuff is kind of tedious. The further into the game you get, the more automated you can get many things and don't have to actually spend your time whack by whack knocking down trees yourself. But yeah, that just takes a little time before you have a bunch of villagers who are doing your bidding. That may be enough. I'll take this one as well, just to get our nice clear area. I'm probably going to destroy a deer spawn, but that's okay. When you build anything at all, within 70 meters of a spawn, it blocks the spawn. It doesn't destroy it. Like if you go and remove whatever it is you built, the animals come back. But to start with, if you build something that's within 70 meters of an animal spawn, it blocks the spawn, and the next season the animals will no longer be there. This is good to know. It's a way of getting rid of animals you don't want, but it also might get rid of animals you want to be able to hunt, which can be a problem. So the way you can tell is you can open up the map, and in the filters on the right side, you can go over to wild animals. And then if I zoom in on where I am, I can put a marker on top of the deer right here. And then when I go out, I see at the top how far away they are. And now I'm within 70 meters of that spawn. So if I build right here, I will be blocking that spawn. I don't mind in this case, because a little further over, there are Wisent. And Wisent are much better for meat and leather and everything. So I'm not so worried about the deer. But it's a good thing to know. You might need that information. Didn't put the axe in my one slot, and finish off these trees. So, who are you and how's your game going? I'm curious. Who's watching? Are you brand new player? Are you an experienced veteran of this game? It's been out in early access, at least, for a pretty long time now. I started playing about a year and a half ago. Tell me in the comments who you are and what your experience is. So we should be able to build a buildings, storages, resource storage somewhere around here. Somewhere, maybe. When I'm looking in a difficult spot, I often just spin the building around like crazy and move around like crazy and just wait for it to flash green anywhere, just anywhere. anywhere soon would be good. Man, I know I've built here before, and I have gotten a resource storage in down here. Somewhere, somehow. Maybe I went a bit further, because it's definitely not cooperating there. And take these, get rid of this. And now it should definitely be open enough that building storage, resource storage. So here, I want to get it as close to the road as possible. Oh, there's a wolf over there. That's good to know. So, maybe there. So it's not too far away from the road. And we will put a smithy in. Smithy is much smaller. We'll put a smithy in near it. So buildings, production, smithy. The only problem with the smithy is it will not go up on stilts. It needs pretty flat ground. It needs a flat foundation. And we can just whack it in somewhere here if we find a spot where it fits. Oh, come on. You were just flashing green. I saw you. You see how it keeps popping up and down? That's just because of the ground here. I want to do that. So, have we got 8 stones? No, we don't. Not quite. Again, we can use our survival sense to see where all of these things are. Especially in winter, it can be really difficult to see things because everything's white. The stones are white and they're sitting on white ground, so it can be really hard to find them. But that should do it for that. Boom. So I might just get these 2 buildings done and rejoin you in a second. And here we are at our smithy, and it's done. So the smithy is a really useful building. So first of all, in the back here, you've got this workbench where you can make wooden tools and wooden weapons, or at least weapons that don't require metal. You can make metal bars. So copper, tin, bronze, and eventually iron bars. And over here at the anvil, you can make tools, weapons, and armor. And if you make tools, it's copper, bronze, and iron, and same with the weapons and armor. So you can hear maybe wolf. So like I said, there are magical connections between all resource storages. So this one has exactly the same things in it that the other one in the village has. We can, for example, we can take out copper bars, bring them over here and make them, or copper ore. No, sorry, those were copper bars, weren't they? So there's a chest in here. I often keep things in there because for a long time, probably the main thing I'll be doing is I will be doing the blacksmith work. I will be creating things because it's just so much quicker than when you get a blacksmith in your village and make him do the work. It's so much quicker. So, mines. The way mines work, or mines like this that are just a cave that you can go in yourself, the way they work is you can mine them yourself. You need a pickaxe. I need to add my pickaxe to my wheel. So, you need a pickaxe, and then you just need to hit it a lot. You find a deposit and you hit it a lot, and your stamina goes down relatively quickly. But then you get, in this example, 4 copper ore and 6 stone. And you can use inspector mode to find more, and you can hit them a lot. Strangely enough, it gets dark in caves at night, and it's lighter in caves during the day. Don't ask me, it makes no sense. But I usually like to... Oh, and a cave completely respawns all of its stuff that you mined every season. So if you empty a mine completely in winter, it'll be all of the mineable stuff will be back in spring. You can use a torch if you want. It uses up the torch slowly, but that's not a big deal. I usually go all the way to the back of the cave and start there, because as you move forward, you will then have to run less and less distance to get to where you stopped, because you will be stopping, especially before you get a donkey. You will get full. Your inventory will fill up pretty quickly. As you can imagine, metal and stone and all of that stuff is heavy. You might also notice I skipped one back here. I skipped this one because it's salt. I don't need salt. Salt sells for a bit, but not that much. And I would rather just focus on getting tin and copper and stone and not fill my inventory up with salt. When you get a bit more into the game, a bit further, there are good things that you can use, potions and drinks, which increase your damage, which transfers also over to mining. Those are really good. There are ones that increase your carrying capacity, which are also very useful, obviously. So if you can increase your damage, you just have to hit things less to mine a complete node. It takes fewer hits. So those are handy, but not absolutely necessary, and I don't have any right now. This is also intended to be beginner friendly, and as a beginner, you're not going to have any of those either. You can hear our poor Bogush is panting for his life because this is hard work. So usually what I do, this becomes so much easier once you have a donkey. When you have a donkey, you bring the donkey in with you and you load yourself and the donkey up to maximum, and you don't have to run back and forth quite as much. Of course, I talked about it in previous episodes, you can also just turn on unlimited carry weight. And some people might say that's cheating. I say, your game, your fun, your rules. So never feel bad about doing that if that's something you want to do. So let's check our inventory. Oh, I've still got unlimited carry weight turned on. So I can basically completely empty this mine. I will do that, and I will see you back outside. So here we are, back outside the mine. I mined through the evening, so it is late. And I mined almost everything. I ran out of pickaxes. So I used up 4 stone pickaxes. They go relatively quickly. But if we look in the inventory at what I've got 97 copper ore and 62 tin ore and 230 stone. Again, I have unlimited carry weight turned on. Maybe you don't. You won't be able to carry all of this at once. You'll have to do a couple of trips back and forth. But what that results in, if I go to the forge, is I can make 48 copper bars. Again, I have fast crafting turned on, which makes this much quicker than if you don't.
I'm hungry.
And then I can make tin bars, 31. So the calculation is 2 copper ore to make 1 copper bar, 2 tin ore to make 1 tin bar, and then 1 copper and 1 tin to make 1 bronze. So I'm making 31 bronze bars.
Famished.
And Bogush is hungry. I should probably go feed Bogush. So I made, and blacksmithing levels up your production pretty fast. So if you go to skills, production, I want handyman, because handyman allows you to insulate walls, which is pretty useful. Although I don't know if I need it really quite yet. Insulation, let me explain insulation. If you go to the management tab and you look at the text on the top right, you'll see wood and then in brackets demand per day. So right now I have 225 wood and the demand per day is 180. If you insulate houses, that reduces the demand a lot because people are warmer and their houses lose less heat. So it's a good thing to insulate, but we're still pretty early and I might not worry about it quite yet. So for production, I think I'll take sewing knowledge, just because that helps me level up quicker when I'm sewing. And sewing is one of the things I tend to do a lot to level up. So I'm putting all of these copper bars and copper ore and everything in the box at the smithy. And let's go into the resource storage, and I'm carrying a whole bunch of stone. So when you mine on your own, you get a lot of stone. I got 232 just from mining. You don't only get copper and tin, you also get a bunch of stone. So if we look at the quest, yeah, it's okay, Bulgash, I'm going to feed you. If we look at the quest in the upper right, I need 900 stone. I've already got 350. I didn't have that much. I didn't have very much at all before I went in the mine. So clearing out a mine is a good way to get 200 or 300 stone quite quickly. Especially if you've got unlimited carry weight turned on, because then you don't have to run them back and forth a million times. So let's go get Bogush a bite to eat and go to bed. You may notice from previous videos, I didn't 100% solve the darkness problem, but it is, I think, better. Oh, I don't have anything to feed Bogush. Where's the kitchen? I can cook some meat. Only 2, but that's something. And we can eat so that Booger shuts up. Tasty, tasty. And that's going to be a problem long term. So again, we can go into management tab. In the top right, we see how much food we have and what the demand is. So it says we have 744 food. Where is it? Oh, I guess it's all of these mushrooms, and here's some roasted meat as well. Yeah, I'll take a bit of that. I was not noticing the roasted meat. Yeah, so we're okay for food for the villagers for now. And this is my hut, so let's... Bogish's hut, let's go sleep until the next day. All right, so it's day 2 in our year 1 winter, and we got a whole bunch of copper and tin, and we turned it into bronze. So, as you noticed, I'm sure, earlier, the wood or the stone tools are pretty useless. They break quite quickly. Bronze ones are much better, and it takes a lot longer for them to break, which is great. And iron are even better, but we can't really do iron yet. We could buy iron ore and already make things out of iron, but it's not really worth it. It's too expensive for what you get. So I'm gonna get just a few logs and a few sticks. Let's say 25 sticks, because building things with, or building tools, making crafting tools, takes usually sticks and logs. So at the anvil, we want to go to tools, bronze, and we want to, I haven't got enough production to unlock the bronze pickaxe yet. That is a pity. Okay. Well, we're going to put those bronze bars back. I didn't want to put the bronze knife in there. And we're going to leave these logs and sticks. It's full. This is a normal chest, which only holds 100 kilos. So you end up with space problems pretty quickly. What I often do is build barrels out here, or you can build boxes or whatever you want. I just like the way that the barrels look. I build barrels out here and over here and on the side so you can get to them quickly, because you will end up with probably a lot of metals. And it's good to be able to get to them quickly and have somewhere to store them when they overflow. So, production. This is early game. The two things that I really worry about leveling up are production and farming. Production you level up by smithing things, but I can't afford recipes right now. So also by cooking things, sewing things, lots of different options. Let's see what kind of resources we have and if there's anything we can produce that would be useful. Not really. Let's go back up to our village and see what's going on up there. I think I may have some flour in the kitchen storage, in which case I can bake a lot, which is also production. We're also going to, this winter, we're going to put down another field or two. Get them ready for spring. There's a lot of things that you can plant in spring. And that will just maximize our profits. It will multiply insanely if we plant 4 fields of flax. So the chest is also empty because I haven't farmed any grain yet. Man, I'm in a bit of a pickle, so to speak. Oh, look at over here. There is a little merchant dude. These are random people. They just turn up and they're called vendor.
Hello
and they
there.
all have sort of a story. So what's that stench? That's the smell of the best manure in the realm. The higher the quality, the stronger the stink. They don't sell such stuff in Piastovia, and they don't want to let me in. Huh, strange. I can't find a single reason why they wouldn't want you there. Oh, wait. Oops, actually I chose the wrong one. Show me your wares. So all he sells is manure and fertilizer and stuff. Now, whenever you find a vendor like this, they stay all season. Next season he'll be gone, but for this whole season he'll be there. So I don't have to buy anything from him right this second. I can just let him be. And what I'm thinking is another 2 fields. Like this. So we can use this thing to measure. I like to have a bit of a gap between my fields, so I'll put 2 and then drag it out this way until it's a 5 by 10. Boom. So that's a 5 by 10, and we'll put another one next to this one. When you're placing fields, it's, if you want them to line up, you can go to the corner, and when it goes red, you know you're on the other field, the existing field, and then you can just walk straight to your right, and that for me is 2 for a gap, and then these will be lined up. 5 by 10. Boom. And then if you look at it, these stakes are a little bit outside of the space, but that's basically lined up. So to do this, I am going to need, or to get this field ready, I am going to need a hoe. I'll take a copper and a wooden hoe. And I'm going to need bags. So what you can get done, and it's I always recommend to do this yourself at the beginning, is do the work required to get your fields started. Do that by yourself. Don't make villagers do it.
I can hear my stomach rumbling.
Because when I do this, I'm getting farming experience. And I'm getting farming tech experience, and I'm getting farming skill experience. The tech experience will lead to me getting the ability to build a donkey shed, or a donkey stall, or stable, or whatever it's called, soon. And once I've got that, I've got donkey, or I can get a donkey.
Again.
Yeah, I forgot about food again, or Bogush did. And once I can get a donkey, wait a sec. A lot of things change in the game. It's very cool to get a donkey as soon as you can, because you can ride around much quicker, which is great. And you can carry a lot more because your donkey can be loaded up to carry stuff, which is also great. And it helps with if you haven't got unlimited carry weight turned on like I do. It helps a great deal with farming. With mining primarily, and also with selling things, because you can then use the donkey to carry stuff into town, which is pretty useful. So once we get these 4 fields running and they are all planted with flax next spring, we will basically have no money problems anymore, because flax can be turned into linen, which can be turned into clothing, which can be sold for a fair bit of money. So that field is grubbed up and ready to fertilize. Go over on the other side and do the other one, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. So the second field is grubbed up, so they're both ready for fertilizer. They are 5x10 fields, so I know I need 100 fertilizer. So let's go back over and visit that merchant vendor and see if he's got enough for us.
Hello there.
All right.
Price is so low, you don't need to haggle.
All of his fertilizer is going to cost us $3.96. That's not too bad a deal. Rot is not really good to buy. Oh, it's for free. Yeah, take that off his hands. Manure is 2 to 1. 2 manure is 1 fertilizer. So 54 will get us 27. Let's take all of that as well.
Goodbye.
It's timely that he turned up when he did. So let's go into our barn and turn manure, or we can do rot first. It'll only give us 4 because it's 10 to 1. 10 rot is 1 fertilizer. Then we can make manure fertilizer. And now we should have in our inventory almost 100. Almost 100, not quite. I'm going to put this 1 manure in the box in the barn. So we can equip the bag. And again, you've seen this before, but I'll repeat it. Left trigger, select field, select fertilizer, and now the bag that we have in our hand is giving us fertilizer when we use it. And I'll go ahead and fertilize these fields, not 100% because I'm missing 3 fertilizer, unfortunately. But I'll go ahead and fertilize all of these and see you shortly. So we're just finishing up the first field. Something useful to know is that your inspector mode will show you what a field has, what state it's in. So this is saying unplowed, which means it's been fertilized, but the fertilizer has to be stirred up and pushed into the ground. It needs to be plowed with a hoe. If we go over here and look at this one, it says unfertilized, so it needs to be fertilized. If we look at this one, it says rye, which is growing, and it has a little symbol next to it, so you know it's a crop state. This is really useful if you're doing something that isn't that visible, like putting in seed. When we get to the seed part, it can be kind of hard to see what the seed in the ground actually is. When you're doing this at night, if you want to maximize your time and use nighttime, especially at the beginning, A lot of people like to do that. And there we unlocked the donkey shelter, which is what I wanted. So yeah, at nighttime sometimes you can't see the ground at all. And when I do that, I'm just flashing between, okay, this is unplowed, so this is the next one I need to fertilize. And then I just go this way. Makes it much easier to do things in the dark. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily know about it. I've told some people every now and then as a tip, and they've always been surprised and pleased to know it. Anyway, I'll get this both of these fields fertilized and plowed and meet you on the other end. Okay, and we're finished with both fields. They are fertilized and plowed, and they get this nice rich brown color when they're done. There was, as I said before, almost enough manure or fertilizer, but not quite enough, so I missed 3 plots. We can touch those up in spring, but for now we've got those ready to go. Let's see, do we have any seed? I'm going to put we have 145 flax seed, which is not going to be enough to plant all 4 of those fields with flax, which is what we want to do. But it means we need 55 more. I'm going to put the bags in there. I'm going to put the remaining wooden hose in there. And I'm going to put the simple bags in there because I'll need all of these things. Good. So we are ready for spring in that we have all of these fields up and ready to go. Let's see, what else can we do? We should build a buildings production sewing hut, and we're not quite there yet. So in spring, we know that we're going to have a bunch of flax planted here, and we're going to harvest it, and we're going to make a lot of linen in the sewing hut. And then we can make clothes and all that sort of stuff. So having a sewing hut would be great. To start with, I might leave it because this is rye and that field over there is rye. And that's going to allow me to make a lot of flour, which is going to allow me to make a lot of bread, flat bread, which will rank up production really fast and also sells for some good money. So maybe we'll just call it a day. It's been a big day. Bogus mined through the entire evening. Check the trap, always good. And farmed through the entire day. So let's call it a day and take some well-earned rest. So, day 3. And actually, let's go over and check this vendor. Maybe his stock has replenished. I don't think it's from day to day, though. I think he just has what he has.
My wares?
Yeah, he has nothing.
Have a good day.
Oh, well. I was hoping we could get another 3 manure, or 3 fertilizer, rather. So fertilizer, the good way to get fertilizer is to have pigs.
I could eat a horse.
Or horses that you can eat. No, Bogus wants to eat a horse. We're not going to feed him a horse, but we might build a pigsty. So buildings, animal husbandry, pigsty. So all the pigsty allows you to do is buy pigs to start with. That's really the only thing it does. it allows you to buy pigs in another town
again.
and put them in the pigsty. So maybe we put them there. It's a good bit of distance from the other fields. And once you've got pigs, you can automate the production of manure. You can also do it by yourself, but pigs allow you to automate it. You can put someone, a villager, in the pigsty, and they will collect manure all day. And then you can have someone in the barn turning that manure into fertilizer. So essentially you never need to buy fertilizer again, and it's just taken care of. Considering we want to be farming essentially every season, we want to be planting or harvesting or something. Bogus is hungry, so let's give him some meat, keep him happy. Yeah, every season we want to be doing something with farming. So we're going to be using a lot of manure all year round, more or less. And we don't want to have to be running into town to buy it all the time or whatever. So one of the ways of getting manure dependably all the time is pigs. Pigs are expensive to buy to start with, but they're totally worth it. The other way is to collect berries, which you can only do in spring and summer, but they're kind of everywhere and they're quite plentiful. When you start collecting them, you can get quite a lot quite quickly. And you can just drop them on the ground and let them rot and then make fertilizer out of the rot. I tend to prefer the pig way and try and get pigs as quick as possible, just because it produces more. Manure is 2 manure makes 1 fertilizer. Rot is 10 to 1. But if you don't want to spend the money, or if you just don't have the money yet, or can't raise money, it can be a viable way to do it with berries. So a lot of people do that. I find the running around and searching for berries part quite tedious and don't enjoy it at all, so I don't do that. But your game, your fun, your rules, as I say. Do it however suits you best. So let's get down to the pigsty and finish it. And we're not going to have money for a pigsty, pigs now. So pigsty is finished. The only thing you need to do in a pigsty is make sure that there's food in the trough. If you assign someone to the pigsty and you have animal feed in your resource storage, not food storage, not in the barn, but in the resource storage, they will fill this up. They will put animal feed in that trough and keep it full. And when the pigs are inside and they're producing manure, that person will also gather the manure and put it in the resource storage. So that's what the pigsty does for you. The other thing I'm thinking I want, which we could build, is a donkey shelter. And I'm also thinking it can go down here somewhere. Now the donkey shelter is sort of a 2-sided building. You can see how it has ramps on 2 sides. I'm going to kind of line it up with the pigsty and put it near the road. Nearish the road. It needs planks. That's right. I forgot planks. So same with Pigsty. I remember this was kind of a mystery to me when I first started playing. You can go to another town and they have pigs for sale. But if you haven't built a pigsty yet, you can't buy pigs. You have to buy the pigs first. Let's put down another furniture and decorations trap, bird trap. So yeah, you can't buy animals that you don't have a place to put. So you have to first build a pigsty or a donkey shelter or whatever it is that you want your animals to go in, and then you have to go somewhere else to buy them, and then when you buy them, you say which building they should go in, and that's how you get animals going. If I remember correctly, grown pigs, you can buy baby pigs and wait for them to grow up. It just takes some time. 3 planks is not going to be enough. Not by far. Let's go over here and make some more planks.
Once a month while... How can I help you?
I didn't want to talk to you. I wanted to free up the workstation.
I was using that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really quite sorry. Let's make 4. That should be enough to finish the donkey shelter, and people are running out of firewood. Now, an important thing with firewood is if we look over here in management, we see down the bottom right, just above the map, wood demand. So we have no wood and we have a demand of 180 a day. Because we have not insulated anything, it's as high as it possibly could be. And we see in the list on the left, that red icon on the right side means everybody has no firewood. And that's bad. We don't want that. And also because in the people's demand, we have firewood turned on, but all of the other kind of wood turned off. If they run out of firewood, they will not burn any other wood. So they just don't have wood. So we're going to make some firewood as well. We'll make quite a bit of firewood. And that will satisfy everybody's needs for a bit. In spring, they will be using less firewood, obviously, because it's warmer, and in summer, even less again. So I got a new level of extraction. And when we put the firewood in there, everyone's going to be a bit happier. And the firewood icon in the top left goes away. And we see that we have 985 wood and a demand of 180. So we're good for a bit. So what did we get? We got the pigsty, we got the donkey shelter. And we've got the smithy, we've almost got the sewing hut. And I got an extraction skill just now. I'm going to take mule. Actually, I'm not going to take mule. I'm going to recommend that you take mule. Somewhere around this point, essentially the way the skills work is you have tier 1, tier 2, these two, tier 3, and tier 4. And you have to put 1 point into one tier to unlock the next tier. So as long as you put 1 point, which I have, into tier 2, then you've unlocked the next tier. And you can see down the bottom, tier 4, the icons are grayed out, so that's tier 4 is not unlocked yet. I would recommend that you take mule because it just increases your carry weight by a total of 15 kilos if you put 3 points in it, which is pretty useful. I'm not going to do it because I've got unlimited carry weight turned on, so I don't need to worry about it as much. Force of nature makes your axes last longer. One with the earth makes your pickaxes last longer. I'm going to take one with the earth, and I've got 2 points to put into that for now. Just because I know I'm going to be doing a fair bit of mining. And yeah, and we're good. So I don't have the money to buy pigs or donkeys right now, but I know that that will be coming up, and I'll be doing that in spring or summer. Probably spring, at least one of them probably in spring. So I want to check that out. I'm going to also just quickly run up to the hunter's hut. So you can live off of roasted meat. You shouldn't eat raw meat. It will poison you. Not quite like in real life, but yeah, meat's better when it's cooked, also in real life. But you can eat raw meat, you can eat roasted meat, sorry. You just cook it over any fire. Or you can come to the hunting hut and you can dry it in the drying rack. That makes it last longer, and it is otherwise basically the same. It's not that different. This is not how drying meat works, but it's how it works in the game. Drying meat takes some time. Here, you just wave your hands around and it dries. I guess superpowers or something. So we have a field, 2 fields, which are ready to be seeded in spring. They will get flax. This will be rye, which will harvest and then plant flax. So we'll have 4 fields of flax. Once we have the rye, we can make it into flour, and we can bake a lot of flatbread, which will get us a lot of production. And we can sell the flatbread as well for good money. Yeah, we're doing all right. It's a sort of slow start. I've had faster starts in this game, certainly, but like I said before, I'm kind of doing this not in the perfect optimal way, because that's not the way anybody starts a game. And when you start the game and I show you how to do it perfectly and you don't even know how to do anything, that's not that useful, I would think. I do need more planks. I need 4, 7, 11 more planks. So let's go up and make a couple more planks. Just that we've got the donkey shed ready to go.
How is life? Goodbye.
2 planks per, so I want 6. That was kind of strange. Did the woodcutter lady just say nothing like the smell of wood and a rotting body? Is she a bit of a psychopath? Don't really need any psychopaths in my village. Okay, so we have 2 animal buildings finished. We will eventually put fences around them. The animals more or less stay within fences, especially if you build a gate that they can't open. They will just stay there. But for now, I'm just trying to think what else we should do. So it occurs to me that a viewer actually requested or recommended that I start working to make Amelia, the only woman in my village, make her my wife. And I put her in a house. So this is Amelia, and she's in a house which is Courtyard 2, and Courtyard 2 has Milan in it as well. So the way this works is if you put two people in a house together, one of them's male, or you can only put a male and a female in a house together. Nobody is roommates and there are no same-sex relationships. So you put a man and a woman in a house together, they will eventually sleep together, have a kid, get married, etc. And the small house has a spot, an empty slot for one person, which will be their kid. Bigger houses have slots for two, and they will eventually have two kids. Now, the way this works is based on their ages. Milan is 30, and Amelia is 19. If they have if they have a larger gap than 20 years, they will not get together. If they have less than 20 years gap, they will, and it will take longer if the gap is larger. So in this case, the gap is 11 years, which means they will take a little while. So one thing you can do if you don't want them to start producing children is you can move them to other houses with other people. So at the moment, if we look at the list, that's my house, that's Amelia and Milan's house, and these houses have one man in them each. So I could move her from this house to this house, and that would reset the timer because she's with a new man. And then I can move her to this house, and that would reset the timer, and that would create no relationships and no children. The timing is sort of like 2 years, like around 2 years you want to move her or him if you don't want them to have children. So I'm going to find her. Where is she? Where did Amelia go? Because I was using her bench, she went off somewhere. Oh, and I'm also dirty, and I want to flirt with her, which, just like in real life, doesn't work as well when you're dirty. Yeah, it's always a good idea to wash before you start chatting up women. I haven't built... There is a wash basin you can build, which is a way to clean yourself in your village, but I have not built it yet, so I'm just going to run down here where I know that there's a little... Oh, actually, no, I can't wash over there either because the water is not deep enough. I need to run all the way down. To the river. When you get in water in winter, as you would expect, it's cold. You get colder. Okay, now I'm washed, but I am wearing warm enough clothing that I don't get too cold. And there's no such thing as wetness in this game. Like you walk through water and you're wet when you're in the water, but you're not wet when you get out. So it's not nearly as inconvenient as water in winter in real life. So I have washed. Amelia is probably back at her workstation by now. So we can start trying to get her romance up. Romancing is a process. It really is a process. You have to talk multiple times.
How can I help you? Take care. Hello.
You have to talk multiple times. You always start, so a bit of a romance primer. If you look down the bottom, under her name, it says age 19, mood 6%, affection 5%. So right now, that is basically, I think, the default that she starts at. Actually, I think it might be 0 affection. So the first thing you want to look at is the age. The age needs to be within 10 years of your age. My age is 19 also, I think, so it's perfect. And then you can say romance. Now, after romance, you have the options. You seem very interesting. Can I ask you something? Or I got you a little something, or forget about it. So I got you a little something is when you buy a gift. We'll look at that later because it's an easy way to get a little extra affection. But to start with, you go, you seem very interesting. Can I ask you something? So as long as that's the question, you're pretty safe asking her questions about herself. Just like in real life, people like to talk about themselves more than they like to be told about you. So, what brought you here? You see up in the upper left, affection change +5. So now you see under her name, affection 10%. To get married, you need to hit affection 100%. That takes a little while. One of the things that can help is if you go to small talk and say, what's on your mind lately? So she says, I hate when the weather messes with my work. Mud slows me down, cold makes me sneeze, and heat makes me see things. And for what? My only wish is to do my job in peace. So this tells you something about her personality. It sounds like she doesn't like change very much, and she likes to work. Then you can also say, how's your day going? The sooner this season ends, the better. My hands are freezing and I can't concentrate on my work. Hopefully I recover when spring comes. So that is a bit of a hint as to her personality. And then when you go to romance, you seem very interesting. You can, like I said, you can ask her questions about herself, and they're always going to give you 5% basically. Try again. Do you have a favorite color? I'm permanently in love with this land. How do you like it here? 5%. So I've got her up to 20%. Now, do you have brothers or sisters? Another 5%. And then you see the question has changed to, how are you doing beautiful? So when her affection reaches 25%, now you kind of know each other. And you're not just saying hi, but you're really flirting. But she says, sorry, I need some time to think about what you said previously. So I can't flirt with her again until the next day. So we'll leave it for now.
See you around.
So that's the flirting for now. Collect the rabbit. Have a drink. May as well while I'm here. Looking again at the quest in the upper right, we want to get that done sometime not too far in the future. So we've got almost 200 logs. That's not a problem. Stone we are going to mine again next season. The limestone is slowly building up. We're at 58 out of 100 we need. And like I said, straw will not be a problem once we get all of the rye in. So we could maybe, if we push it, we could finish that quest in spring. Latest, we'll finish it in summer, which is cool. It's starting to get late again. I'm thinking, we might want to prepare. We might want to prepare to hire more people, to recruit some more villagers. So I'm going to go to houses and go to a simple small house. And while we're at it, I'll show you something interesting, which is very good to know earlier in the game. So Can we put a house up here somewhere? Not there. Maybe somewhere around here. It's flashing a little. It's a very exact spot, whatever it is. But I can't quite get it. Where is it? It's right there. It's really hard to get that exact spot with a controller. This is probably a lot easier with a mouse. There we go. So I can build a house there. You'll hear a lot of people tell you not to build small houses. It totally doesn't matter unless you're thinking extremely long term. The only reason not to build a small house is because you want every pair of villagers to have 2 children. And that is going to take so long. I would seriously recommend you don't even worry about it. When it gets to the point where you want to have more villagers with more children, you can build some larger houses at that point. I really don't think it's worth worrying about. So whoa, there it is. Okay, it's hard to get the exact spot sometimes. Where is it? Man, I'm just not getting it. This will happen to you, which is why I'm showing it to you. If you're new, depend on having exactly the same thing. But the good thing is, or my recommendation anyway, is don't give up. Especially if you're trying to do what I'm doing, which is like building among trees or when there's rocks around. I think building in interesting landscape or challenging landscape makes for much more interesting villages. And it takes a little messing around like I'm doing now to figure out exactly where you can get a house in. But in the end, you end up with a much more interesting village, personally, I think, than if you build everything in a grid on a flat piece of land. That is easy, but it's also boring, to me anyway. But your game, your fun, your rules, build where you want. But I always recommend at least trying some more. There we go. Boom. So I always recommend trying at least to build in a bit more interesting place. So one interesting thing that I can show you is if you've got your hammer out and you point at, well, you need to build the foundation, which I've done. You need to build the frame. And then when you see the blueprint of the walls, you can go to the door and you can say, make it a wall. Make it a wattle wall. Now this place has no door. Now I can go over to this side and say, make a wattle door, and it gives me a door over here. So I'm on the flat side, I'm on the higher side of the house, and I've got a door in a place that doesn't require such a large stairwell or set of stairs as we had on the other side. We can also go in and say, make this window a wall, and make this wall a window. Make this wall, make this wall a window. All of these things can be adjusted, and that is really good to know, because what you can also do is you can go in here and you've got, by default, you've got wattle walls, wattle wall with window, and wattle wall with door. you can, already from the beginning of the game, you don't have to unlock anything at all. You can go in here and say, make this a stone wall with door. Make this a stone wall with no window. Make this a stone wall. Stone wall. Stone wall. Oops. Stone with window. It's kind of tedious. But what this allows you to do is, right from the beginning, build things that, whoops, I put it away. Build things that are better insulated and look cooler as well. I think that the stone stuff looks cooler. I like to leave the little triangles up the top as wattle sometimes. I just think they also look nice in combination with all of this stone. Now, the difference is, to insulate stone, you need limestone. And to insulate wattle, you need clay. And you have to make it into daub. So we have a little stone hut built up here in the trees. So it's night again. Not a bad time to get to bed. And if you want to know a little bit about villager happiness, I'm going to move one of these miners. I'm going to move him up into the new house we just built. So the new house we just built is this one. It's empty. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Forest 1. Just that I can see where it is. So if we move Milogost from the Courtyard 3 house into the Forest 1 house, and then we close this and let a little time pass, and then we open this back up, we see that his mood is going up. He has these 2 green arrows because he is in a much better quality house now. That makes a huge difference for their mood. So if you give everybody a stone house, it increases their mood quite a lot. We've been very much down at the lowest end of the mood with 6% for a long time. That improves greatly once you get better quality houses and everybody is in them. That's it. So let's go to bed and see you tomorrow. So here we are. Let's check the temperature. No, inventory. Yeah, the temperature is remaining pretty mild. It's remaining in the green zone, which is completely because I have the insensitive perk up to 3 points. So everybody's waking up. Check the traps. Got a bird, got a rabbit. Nice. It's a little semi-free passive hunting experience. Let's go up and have a look at that house in the light. So for now, because I'm not producing lots and lots of planks, I left the roof as straw. I changed all of the walls to stone, except this little triangle here above the stone, because I kind of like how that looks with the mix of sticks up there and stone down here. But it's entirely up to you how you want to build. The other thing you can do, which is good to know, relating to housing, is, let's check. Houses. The one that's empty now is Courtyard 3, which I think is this one over here. You can always check which building you're looking at by the sign up there. So this is Courtyard 4. If you just point at the sign, it shows you. This is Courtyard 3. So if we go in here, when you want to upgrade an existing house, you can do that, but you have to start by take your hammer out, left trigger, and go to destroy. That puts your hammer in destruction mode. And if we destroy this, and then left trigger, and we switch back to normal build mode, then we can do what we did when we were building the hut last night. We can hit A to edit. We can say door, stone wall with door, and then we've built a stone wall. Right? The thing that's important to keep in mind when you're doing this, if someone is living in the house and you start renovating it, so destroying walls and all of that stuff, it does kick them out, right? So they are suddenly homeless. They will not lose mood so quickly that you need to panic. You just need to get the renovation done quickly, like within the day, and then remember to assign them back into the house. That's important and easy to forget. So, for example, we can also, after the fact, after we've already built some stuff, we can destroy some stuff. And you see in the top left, all those icons popped up all of a sudden. That's because nobody lives there anymore and somebody is homeless. Not really what we want. And we can put that back. And you see those icons don't go away because those people are still homeless. Oops. Or that person, Roch, is still homeless. We want to assign him to Courtyard 4. And those icons go away and his mood stabilizes. And it's got 2 green arrows, which means it'll go up to 6 because he's got a basic house. You can already see that the other guy, Milagost, who got the stone house up the hill, his mood has gone up to 12 already because he has the best house in town, even better than my house. So he's a happy boy. So that's a little bit about building. We want to flirt with Amelia again because, whoops, we want to get her on side.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, beautiful? So now it gets a little trickier. Now you want to pay more attention to her personality and not just ask her questions, because the questions that you get, the things that you can say to her, become a little more tricky. So we remember that she is not so fond of change and kind of into work. The top one, the long one, I've never felt love like that before. That is marry me. And it will fail 100% of the time until you have 100% affection. So you can just ignore it. And they're flirtier questions like, hey, your figure's kind of sexy, or you can tell her jokes, or whatever. I think The King Can Tell the Future sounds like kind of a woo-woo kind of thing, and bears never use swords because they fight with their bare hands is a dumb joke. I don't really know if those would go over with her, so we'll try the athletic figure of yours is quite impressive. Plus 10. So we got her up to 35% affection. You are so caring. I'm sure you're going to be a great mother. If you said that in real life to most women I know, they would, a lot of them I think would get pretty annoyed, but these are not real women, so I'll try it. +7, so that was also a good one. What's the difference between a women's argument and a knife? Another one that sounds sort of designed to piss women off. But have you heard about the blacksmith from Hornica? He's always horny and hammered. Stupid jokes are generally to be avoided, but some women in this game really like them, so who knows? Some of it is a bit sort of guessing in the dark. Women's argument and a knife. Okay, that got me a +5. And now she's had enough for the day, so she's up to 47%.
Have a nice day.
So not bad, not bad. Not great. If you keep it going and you get over and over, you get the right answers, you can just keep the conversation going basically forever until she is at 100%. But that is quite difficult unless you know exactly which questions to ask. But that was not, I would say that was not a bad effort. We got her up to basically 50%. So another day or two, probably 2, and we can probably get her up to 100% and have a wife. It's a good thing to keep in mind. When you are putting villagers together, so you're putting a man and a woman in a hut, they will, like I said, roughly 2 years, may take longer, they will start having children. When the woman becomes pregnant, from then you've got 3 seasons, and then she will stop working for 2 years because she will be taking care of a baby and nothing else. So I think it's kind of a bad idea to fill up all of your houses right at the beginning with men and women. It's efficient as far as houses go, because you build one house, you get 2 people in it. But if you don't shuffle them every year and a half, 2 years, they will end up breeding, and you'll end up with a whole bunch of pregnant women all at the same time who are producing a whole bunch of children all at the same time. Children, at least as far as efficiency goes, children are kind of useless. They take a really long time to grow up, like years, obviously, and they don't do anything useful for the entire village until they do. The main reason not to, or I avoid anyway, putting a whole bunch of women in houses with men early on is they all get pregnant at once, and you get a baby boom which goes through your village like a plague and removes half your workers all at the same time or at a very similar time. So within a season or 2 of each other, all your women stop working, and all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of people not working, and you have to go find new people, build new houses for them, and so on and so forth. Speaking of upgrading houses, so we did just the door on this one. You can, after you've built a building, you can, I'm just going to feed Boogers. After you've built a building, you can move the door. And a lot of people think you cannot do this, but you can. But it's tricky. So first of all, you have to destroy all the walls. And again, this evicts the people living in the house. You have to destroy all of the roof. You basically have to strip the whole place down to just the framing. And now I can turn this into a wall with, let's go for stone this time. And I made that into a window, right? Which means I can make this one into a door. And I like doing this because, like you see, door on the left, window. Door on the left, window on the right. I like to vary the buildings a little. Ah, wait a sec. No. This is not going to work, actually, because it doesn't move the things around the place until you destroy the frame. So if you've already built a place and you want to really change where the walls and the windows and the door, where specifically mainly the door is, you have to destroy the frame. So now it's got the door where I put it before, but it'll redistribute the furniture. So stone wall with door, my hammer broke. And it's kind of tedious, but you have to go through and make these things into stone if you want them all in stone, one by one. I usually go through and do set all of them first, but do it how you like. So I set all of them first so I can then just go boom, 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 boom. And like I said before, I like the stick triangles over the wall of stone, so I just leave those. So now it has reorganized the furniture because I took it down to the frame. And now it's a all stone wall, thatched roof hut. And never forget that poor Roch is homeless, and we're putting him in courtyard 4, which will improve his mood considerably. This is courtyard 4, right? Yeah, exactly. So now we go back in there and he's got a double green arrow. We can see Milogost is still gaining mood, and he's already at 26%, and it's just going to keep going up. And then if we improve the roof, it'll go up even more. If we insulate the walls, it'll go up even more, and so on. So mood, once you can build houses out of stone, which you don't have to unlock anything for, you can do it from the beginning of the game. You just have to have enough stone. So once you start building in stone, mood is basically not really a problem. Mood has to go down to -100 to be bad, because what happens then is people leave, but otherwise nothing happens. They work a little less productively. They work more productively if they have higher mood, so it's good getting the mood up. But once you start building in stone, it's basically no longer an issue. It's pretty easy, super easy, barely an inconvenience. So how much money do we have? 691. So let's look at our seeds. So what we're going to do next season is we're going to harvest rye. We're going to fertilize 2 fields, which have rye in them now. That's 50 fertilizer. And we're going to plant flax. Flax is going to go in all 4 fields. So we need 55 more flax. So we need 50 fertilizer and 55 flax. And yeah, that's it. We don't have enough money to start buying pigs or donkeys or any of those exciting things. So I think we'll just run into town and do a little shopping. I'll see you there. So I got attacked on the way to town. Apparently there's a random bandit spawn out there. So And I was totally not expecting it, and I got killed. So, I think I took down one of the bandits. And we're gonna see if we can take down the rest. One of them had a crossbow he was shooting at me. I think I killed him. And there was another guy with a knife or a sword or something. And he killed me. Where are they? Ah, there he comes. Okay, he's dead. And he's also dead? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so one guy's here. I'm gonna loot him. And one guy was up here. And then we'll go over and check their camp. These weak cutthroats, they don't have much. But the game does scale most of these guys relative to where you're at. So, weak archer, he has a bow, he has a little coin, and just junk, basically. So they don't even have a proper camp. They were just sitting up here waiting to ambush me. There's an iron arrow that missed over here somewhere. And probably there's some iron arrows. Yeah, across there and over here are some iron arrows that I can pick up. Iron arrow. Iron arrow. And a bronze arrow. It's worth picking these up, at least at the beginning when you're short on money, and can't make arrows easily yourself. Aha, okay, so that was their... It's a clever little trap. It looks like something I would run to and want to get everything out of, and there's nothing there to get anything out of. So either they have already robbed a merchant, or they put that there as bait. So anyway, now I will run to town and see you there. So here we are at Piastovia. I'm gonna check in with Unislava.
Hello.
Because I picked up some stuff like the bow, like the stone arrows that I can just sell. I can sell her that. I can sell her these. And that gets us a bit more cash. I can sell her a copper knife, which isn't that interesting. And I think that was it. As far as... I can sell her that just to get rid of it. Yeah.
My wear snip. Have a nice day.
But what I really want is Markuslav, I think his name is. He's the dude who has fertilizer and seeds. And where is he? Oh, I think he's downstairs. He lives down here. Markuslav, there he is. He's the resources
Hello.
dude. And he has fertilizer, but let's see how much manure he has first, because we can turn that into fertilizer. Let's take 64. That will get us 32. So for 2 fields, we need 100, and I've got 3 extra that I couldn't do. So we've got 32 fertilizer. We need 68 plus 3, 71. Boom. Got that. And do we have anything we can sell him? Nothing that is worth much money, but we can sell him fur. And we don't, we can sell him the mead, which is worth 100. It's always good to keep those things in mind. I often forget them.
Only the best product. Take care.
So, Markoslav is done. The other thing we can sometimes do is Poznomir. First of all, Poznomir has a quest. But
I'm
actually,
practically losing money. How is life treating you?
Poznomir, it's a little money, but it's basically free money, is you come over to Poznomir and you buy pike. And you buy all the pike you can afford. 7. You buy pike because when you cook pike, you get a lot of
Want to
meat.
see my so long?
So we just bought a bunch of pike. You come back down to the sick house where you have a fire that you can use. And you cook the pike. And you get a bunch of roasted fish meat. 49 roasted fish meat. And then you can go back up to Poznomir. Where did Poznomir go? Or you can go to anyone, really. Because you're selling.
it's you.
And anyone will buy anything. And you sell the roasted fish meat for 465.
Wants to see my... See you soon.
And if I did the math correctly on that, I'll have to look. It gets you a little profit.
Power comes
And the more you can buy of the fish, the more you
Seems
can
to be
get
doing just fine.
profit. They may have changed that. I will actually go back and look at the recording, and I'll let you know on screen now whether that it has actually changed and is still a way to make a little money.
The
But
taxes here are incredibly high.
it certainly used to be that you could just buy pike, cook it, and sell it back to the same guy and make quite a bit of money out of it very easily. Oh, you know what we didn't buy, which we do need to buy, is we need 200 flax, and we have 145 flaxseed. So we need 155. No, we need 55.
How do you do?
We need 55 flaxseed, which we can hopefully... Oh, we can't quite afford 55 flaxseed, and we're going to be bankrupt. Maybe we'll actually do 5 flaxseed, so that'll be 150, which is 3 fields, and we can do 1 in wheat. So if we buy wheat grain, we have 23, so we buy 27. And that'll make 1 field of wheat, and then we're not
Only
completely
the
broke.
best. So long.
We're not getting as much flax as we could, but long term having wheat going in 1 field all the time is kind of a good idea because it makes more flour than anything else, which makes more baking, which makes more money. So, anything else? Did I forget anything? If this was live, you could tell me. If this was Twitch, but it's not. So let's just jog back to the village, and I might actually sleep this night. Since the season changed and we haven't looked at the people again yet, let's have a look at the camp over here and see what we've got. We need farmers at this point. And these guys are not great farmers. There are no great farmers here. Okay, let's just forget about them for now. Next season we can see about it. And I'll see you back at the village. So, we're back at the village. I am thinking what I might do, actually, I think it's also a feature I have not demonstrated yet, is I'm gonna sleep until next season. You don't have to wait for seasons to end. If you're sick of a season or impatient to get to another season, you can just sleep until the next season, as long as you're already halfway through this season. All right? I'm going to make some fertilizer. And drop it off in the farm shed. And I think now we'll sleep until next season and end the episode. Always good first to check the traps. And they are indeed used up or have captured something. I'll go ahead and have a drink. And these trees, man, I'm really impatient for these trees to come back. I think it's going to be about another year, because I'm pretty sure I cut them in spring year 1. We're now in winter year 1. So, yeah. It's going to be another year until those end back out here. The deforested wasteland that is the backyard of the village. It's going to be a while until those pop back up, but eventually this will be a beautiful little sort of forested village, and we'll see that in future episodes. For now,
Goodbye.
Bogush and I will say goodbye.